But at the same time, there's some other factors out there in the environment that you better fucking get ahead of, that you're not going to be able to control. And I don't know who the fuck is going to control it. And that being artificial intelligence. It's no longer just the notion that, hey, there's this fucked up archaic system that I'm going to go through. That being, I'm going to go through the traditional pre-K through 12, then I'm going to go get an undergraduate degree and, maybe get a graduate degree, whatever. I'm going to go through all that, accumulate the debt, be really, really kind of narrow and antiquated sort of, core knowledge, and having to make shit up as I go along for the next 25, 30 years because shit's going to be thrown at me that they never prepared me for. It's not just that anymore. It is now, holy fuck. We have like the whole idea of automation being taken to a level that could never, ever have been imagined 100 years ago. That change that I'm talking about in prior talks about how, within 100 years, shit, in the next 25, 50 years, it's going to be a fucking nightmare hellscape for some people because of what automation is going to do across the board with every industry. So what does that mean to, lawyers, marketers, teachers, doctors? What does that have to do with, accountancy? What does it have to do with basically fucking anything? And are you being prepared for that today? Are you seeing anybody preparing you for that today? There isn't anybody, not as far as I know. So you got to do it. You got to do it. And it's quite likely that it's just not going to be enough. Not to sound too pessimistic, but it just may not be enough. But you better fucking do something. You need to wake the fuck up and see what is happening. Because you can argue against the difference generationally of the value of an education, but you cannot fucking argue that any generation before this generation is immediately facing something as seismic as what artificial intelligence is going to do. It just isn't there. So this is like, comet extinction level event possibly. And we're just kind of saying, does anybody else see what we see? That's all we're trying to say. Does anybody else see what we see? Because if you see what we see, can we shut the fuck up about the way things have they been and all of that and start talking about how things ought to be so we can prepare for whatever the fuck is going to come our way, as opposed to what you guys have always mapped out would be our way? Because shit's about to get out of control for everybody.